Amber Heard tried to cancel my boy Johnny Depp, man. Like, Johnny Depp is a childhood hero to me, man. I grew up with Pirates of the Caribbean, you know. When I was thinking about being a barber in life, you know, I was watching Edward Scissorhands, you know, he would motivate me like that. But, bro, like this girl, she literally lied on him and said that he was beating her when she was the one that was actually beating him and stuff like that. And then, not only that, she got off of what she get him kicked off of? She got him kicked off Pirates of the Caribbean, and she got him kicked off of some like Harry Potter movie. So Brody's making a 3-1 comeback. Johnny Depp is about to make the biggest 3-1. I don't know, like he low key might make a bigger 3-1 comeback than YNW Melly, like high key.
Hope knows her because Stanhope's buddies with Johnny Depp. And he wrote something about, like, I forget what he wrote. I think he wrote like a little essay about how full of shit she is. And she threatened to sue him. And I think he had to wind up taking it down. I hope I'm not fucking that up. But he knows her. He knows her well. And he's like, she's out of her fucking mind. And I'm like a crazy actress. He's like, yeah like those are real.
Of course, there's a ton of them.
There's a lot of them.
That's why they're good.
That is why they're good.
I do not want to call anyone a liar, but from my experience of Johnny, it is impossible to believe that such horrific allegations are true.
Depp's lawyer painted her as a liar, saying she made up the at the height of the Me Too movement to gain publicity for a movie she was starring in at the time.
As the world continues to follow the proceedings of former celebrity couple Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's $50 million defamation trial, some newly released information appear to have tipped off the public on who's back to have.
The Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case continues, but what does it mean for our culture when justice and people's private lives become entertainment? That I thought I would solve my personal problems by becoming famous, being around famous people, being immersed in celebrity and fame. And I did that for a long time. And I can tell you now, live on YouTube and Rumble, that it didn't work for me very well at all. It left me feeling bereft and hollow and empty. So for me, there was a kind of a personal reaction to this. I'm not condemning any of the people that I was around during that time. I'm saying for me personally. And I feel very sad for the individuals involved in this and for a culture that believes in this, that one of the pinnacles, one of the peaks that we're all trying to clamber towards is this one. Look at it really. And this is just, we're getting a glimpse into this because of a legal matter, because of an unfortunate, messy legal matter. Let me tell you from personal experience, that kind of unhappiness is instantiated and realized throughout that world. People are just alone behind those walls, alone behind those gates, alone in those mansions. I'd like to be alone in a mansion. Yeah, I'm sure you would if you're poor. I've been that as well, and that's not fun either. What I'm saying is perhaps individually and culturally, what's on trial really here are our values. Of course, there is a trial around how people behave to one another and certain ideas around personal safety and things that are obvious to anyone. But what's really on trial is what do we approve of? What do we aspire to? What do we need? What do we want? What are we heading towards? What has led us here? Of course, there are things on display that are part of the human condition, the complexity of relationships, the aspiring Icarus-like after bright lights that will burn you. But more deeply, I would argue, is a vision of a culture that has really lost its way. That when people in the most reified of positions stand before you broken, this is a time to question your values and your own aspirations, your own meaning, your own heart, and your own conduct.
Since I knew that there was no truth to it whatsoever, I felt it my responsibility to stand up not only for myself in that instance, but stand up for my children.
The notoriously private Johnny was also forced to share details of his difficult childhood and the abuse he suffered at the hands of his mother, Betty Sue Palmer.
She could become quite violent. And she was quite violent, and she was quite cruel.
During a separate testimony, Johnny described an altercation during which Amber attacked him first and then tried to frame him by faking a broken nose with nail polish.
Suddenly, I'm just getting clobbered from behind, and she came back about 7 or 8 minutes later. She had a Kleenex. She took it away and she showed it to me. She said, "Way to go, Johnny, you broke my nose." I inspected it pretty closely and realized that it was nail polish.
what a slow week for news. Newsweek is like, fuck Syria, forget about the Ukraine. Let's find out about
There's children's
pooping.
hospitals being blown up in Ukraine, but let's find out if she shit in his bed.
Look at him. I'm on my side of the bed. Was human fecal matter. Let me hear how he says it.
It wasn't a good time. Human fecal matter.
Jesus Christ.
So I understood why it wasn't a good time to go down there. She was sitting on one side of the couch, I was sitting on the other. That's when she was trying to explain a few things about Coachella and then the fecal delivery. And saying that it was the dogs. And I could not agree with her. I lived with those dogs. I picked up their fun. And it was not the dogs.
I'm not angry at anybody. I want the best for her to take her responsibility, heal, and move on. And for Johnny, his family has been completely wrecked by all of this stuff, and it's not fair. It's not right what she did and what happened for so many people to get affected from this. It's insane.
She will hit the wall hard. 4 exclamation points. And then later down in this wall kicks in and takes the gift of breath from her. Did I read that right?
Objection, compound.
Oh, that's a nice objection.
You read that correctly.
And this wasn't the first time that you talked about Amber hitting the wall hard. Let's pull up Exhibit 213, please.
There's Amber Heard.
Hitting the wall hard based on the accusations that she brought. I'm sorry, I was talking. Is that all right?
You'd answer my question. We'll take
Johnny.
a look at that. Oh, thank you.
As long as you're happy, sir.
Man. My man's funny.
So, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation continues to confuse and bewilder. My basic take on the situation is that it is very rare for there to be a marriage like this where both sides are not involved in some sort of kind of nefarious and gross and abusive behavior. It's pretty rare that only one member of a couple, a celebrity couple like this, is the one who's just all to blame and the other one is totally fine. However, Johnny Depp's case is basically Amber Heard has gotten to have a career. She defamed me. She gets to have a career. I don't get to have a career. And that is true. I mean, what the tapes so far have shown is that Amber Heard admits on tape to beating Johnny Depp. Now, I understand that there is a sort of root assumption in culture, despite the advances of the feminist movement, that when a woman punches a man in the face, that that's considered okay. And if a man punches a woman in the face, that the man should go to jail for the rest of his life. And I agree with that latter part. I just don't think it's okay when a woman punches a man in the face. So I'm on the no punching your spouse in the face bandwagon for the record. Apparently, Amber Heard was engaged in that sort. I mean, she openly admits it on tape. She accuses Johnny Depp of having abused her. It seems like the evidence on that score is pretty circumstantial and skimpy. So she basically, her lawyer yesterday tried to trot out a bunch of bad headlines about Johnny Depp making bad movie decisions as though that was evidence that this is why he hasn't been hired for a while. There are a lot of actors who have a bad stretch and who still are making movies and are still making a lot of money making movies. We all know that what Johnny Depp is saying here is basically true, which is that as soon as Amber Heard started making serious abuse allegations about Johnny Depp, all of his parts just dried up. It's why he was not cast, for example, in the latest Harry Potter franchise movie. According to Deadline Hollywood, Johnny Depp ended his testimony in his $50 million defamation trial against Amber Heard on Monday with a declaration that he is the victim of domestic abuse. He said yes when he was asked if he was a victim of domestic violence.